So let's begin the session, gluconeogenesis. Gluconeogenesis, that is, glucose is synthesized de novo. What is the definition? What is gluconeogenesis? It is the process of synthesizing glucose or glycogen from non-carbohydrate precursors, or we can say it includes this gluconeogenesis. It includes all the mechanisms and pathways for converting non-carbohydrate precursors into glucose or glycogen. Non-carbohydrate precursor से जब ग्लूकोज बनता है उसको बोलते हैं gluconeogenesis. Now, what are the non-carbohydrate precursors? They are also called as substrate. The substrates are glycerol, lactate, glucogenic amino acids, and propionate. These are the four sources which can give rise to glucose: glycerol, lactate, glucogenic amino acids, and propionate. Now, these four substrates, they can be divided into two categories. Four substrates can be divided into two categories. The first category would include the substrates like glucogenic amino acids and propionate, which can directly convert into glucose. This is the first category. These substrates, glucogenic amino acids and propionate, they can be directly converted into glucose. And the second category includes substrates like glycerol and lactate. These two substrates, they are already the product of metabolism of glucose in some other tissue. I'm repeating, they are the product of metabolism of glucose in other tissues. They come in the blood and then taken up by either by kidney or liver to be converted back to glucose. For example, just a minute. As I told you, substrates are divided into two groups. The first category was which can be directly converted into glucose like amino acids and propionate. And the second category will include the substrates which are product of metabolism of glucose in some other tissue. For example, lactate. Lactate is synthesized from glucose within the skeletal muscle and RBCs. So it is a product of glucose only in skeletal muscle and RBC. So in skeletal muscle and RBC, this lactate is formed from glucose via anaerobic glycolysis. Now this lactate from skeletal muscle, it will come in the blood, then taken up by the liver or kidney and converted back to glucose. Similarly, glycerol, it is formed in adipose tissue. It is formed in adipose tissue from glucose. In fed state, glucose forms glycerol. Glycerol, it will combine with free fatty acids and will form triacylglycerol. This is the case when in fed state, because in fed state, glucose is in surplus amount. So the extra glucose is converted into glycerol and will combine with free fatty acid, and this will be converted into triacylglycerol. Now, vice versa, in fasting state, there will be breakdown of this triacylglycerol. This triacylglycerol is break down into free fatty acid and glycerol. This glycerol from adipose tissue enters the blood and then taken up by liver or kidney to be converted back to glucose. So lactate and glycerol, both these substrates, they are product of metabolism of glucose only in other tissues. Other tissues, matlab, lactate is the product of metabolism of glucose in skeletal muscle and RBC, while glycerol is the product of metabolism of glucose in adipose tissue. इनमें बनते हैं ग्लूकोज से ही बनते हैं किसी और टिश्यू में, फिर ब्लड में आ जाते हैं, और फास्टिंग स्टेज में जब फास्टिंग स्टेट होती है तो इनका अपटेक होता है इन लिवर और किडनी एंड देन दे आर कन्वर्टेड बैक टू ग्लूकोज वाया gluconeogenesis. So thus we have done the two categories of the substrate of gluconeogenesis. Now what are the organs of gluconeogenesis? Liver and kidney. Liver and kidney, they consist of complete set of enzymes required for gluconeogenesis. ग्लूकोनियोजेनेसिस के लिए जो भी एंजाइम्स रिक्वायर्ड होते हैं लिवर एंड किडनी में, वो सारे के सारे एंजाइम्स प्रेजेंट होते हैं. सो they consist of the complete set of enzymes needed for gluconeogenesis. The site of gluconeogenesis in the cell is cytosol and mitochondria. Now, pre-gluconeogenic enzymes, or we can say principal gluconeogenic enzymes, are pyruvate carboxylase, phosphoenol pyruvate carboxykinase, fructose 1,6-bisphosphatase, and glucose 6-phosphatase. These four are the specific key enzymes of gluconeogenesis. Now, what is the biomedical importance of gluconeogenesis? Why do we need gluconeogenesis? Why gluconeogenesis is important? There are some tissues, for example, therefore there is a continuous requirement of glucose for some tissues like brain, RBCs, kidney medulla, lens and cornea of eye, testes, and exercising muscle. All these tissues, they continuously require a supply of glucose as the metabolic fuel. So there's requirement of glucose for these tissues all the time. There's requirement of glucose for these tissues. Gluconeogenic. Second comes gluconeogenic mechanism is used to clear the products of metabolism of other tissues. The products which are formed from glucose in other tissues, they come in the blood and then they are cleared from the blood by gluconeogenic mechanism. As I told you, glycerol and lactate. Glycerol बनता है adipose tissue में, lactate बनता है skeletal muscle and RBCs में, lactate muscle में से और glycerol adipose tissue में से blood में आ जाएगा. अगर gluconeogenesis नहीं होगा तो ये blood में accumulate होते रहेंगे glycerol and lactate. इन दोनों को accumulate होते रहेंगे, which will be not good for the body. So both these substrates, they are removed from the blood, that is they are taken up by the liver or kidney and then they are converted to glucose. So we can say they are removed from the blood, they are cleared from the blood via gluconeogenesis. Then this I have discussed previously also in liver glycogenolysis, that liver glycogenolysis is able to meet the body glucose level within 24 hours. If fasting is less than 24 hours, then liver glycogenolysis is sufficient to maintain the blood glucose level. But if the fasting is prolonged beyond 24 hours, then liver glycogen stores, they get depleted. And then to maintain the blood glucose level, this role is taken up by gluconeogenesis. So initially, within 24 hours of fasting, to maintain blood glucose level, liver glycogenolysis plays the role. Then beyond 24 hours of fasting, gluconeogenesis comes into the picture to maintain the blood glucose level. Now, gluconeogenesis में glucose is synthesized in during the overnight fast. Overnight fast में 90% of the glucose is synthesized in liver and only 10% is synthesized in kidney. During overnight fasting, 90% of glucose is synthesized in liver and only 10% is synthesized in kidney. But if this fasting prolongs, then kidney becomes the major glucose producing organ. During prolonged fasting, kidney becomes the major glucose producing organ. Now we'll address substrates in detail. This is the first, this is the category which are already the products of metabolism of glucose in other tissues, glycerol and lactate. So first we'll address glycerol. It is released in fasting state. It is released from hydrolysis of triacylglycerol. Triacylglycerol in presence of enzyme lipase breaks down to free fatty acids and glycerol. Then this glycerol, from adipose tissue, it enters the blood. From blood, it enters liver. And liver में इसका gluconeogenesis होता है, and this glycerol gets converted to glucose. Glycerol gets converted to glucose in liver. Now, in glycerol, in presence of glycerol kinase, gets converted to glycerol 3-phosphate. This glycerol 3-phosphate in presence of glycerol 3-phosphate dehydrogenase gets converted to dihydroxyacetone phosphate, which is the intermediate in process of glycolysis and gluconeogenesis. And from DHAP, ultimately glucose is formed. This will be able to understand the pathway a little better. See, look here, glycerol. This is the pathway of glycolysis, and this is citric acid cycle, TCA cycle. So glycerol, in presence of glycerol kinase, this forms glycerol 3-phosphate. ATP donor hai, phosphate ka, glycerol 3-phosphate is formed. From glycerol 3-phosphate, in presence of enzyme glycerol 3-phosphate dehydrogenase, dihydroxyacetone phosphate is formed. This dihydroxyacetone phosphate, it will combine with glycerol 3-phosphate, and they both will form fructose 1,6-bisphosphate. Fructose 1,6-bisphosphate से fructose 6-phosphate बनेगा, इससे glucose 6-phosphate बनेगा, इससे ultimately glucose बन जाएगा. So glycerol से ऐसे glucose synthesized हो जाता है. So this is how glycerol gets converted to glucose. Now we'll come to the next substrate, that is lactate. Lactate, as I told you, it is synthesized via anaerobic glycolysis in skeletal muscle and RBC. Glucose by anaerobic glycolysis forms lactate. This lactate, it is released in the blood. From blood, it enters the liver. Liver के अंदर lactate पहले convert होगा pyruvate में, and then ultimately pyruvate gets converted to glucose. This glucose, once it is synthesized in liver, it again enters the blood for oxidation in tissues, and this is called as lactic acid cycle or Cori cycle. You can see in this image, muscle blood में से glucose enter होता है muscle के अंदर. Muscle, it's in glucose is converted to glucose 6-phosphate. Glucose 6-phosphate से pyruvate बना, and pyruvate से ultimately बन गया lactate. This is via anaerobic glycolysis. Glucose से बन गया lactate in muscle. From muscle, lactate enters the blood. From blood, it is taken up by the liver. Lactate again gets converted back to pyruvate, and pyruvate se via gluconeogenesis glucose ban jayega. So this is by the process of gluconeogenesis. Lactate se ban gaya pyruvate, pyruvate se ban gaya glucose 6-phosphate, that is glucose synthesized. This is called as gluconeo via gluconeogenesis. Excuse me. Now, this glucose, which is synthesized via gluconeogenesis, it again enters the blood circulation to be oxidized in tissues. So this cycle is called as lactic acid cycle or Cori cycle. I'm repeating, glucose from blood enters a muscle. In muscle, glucose is converted to lactate via anaerobic glycolysis. From muscle, lactate enters the blood. From blood, it again taken up by the liver and converted back to glucose via gluconeogenesis. This glucose from liver, it enters the blood circulation to be oxidized for various tissues. And this cycle is called as lactic acid cycle or Cori cycle. Now, this is clubbed with another cycle which is called as glucose-alanine cycle. Glucose taken up by the muscle, converted to pyruvate. Pyruvate with the addition of amino group. Amino group isme add hoga. With the addition of amino group, this pyruvate gets converted to alanine, the amino acid. Now, this alanine from the muscle, it will enter the blood circulation. From blood, it is taken up by the liver. Alanine will remove its amino group, which will ultimately form urea. And alanine जो है वो अपने keto acid में convert हो जाएगा, which is called as pyruvate. Pyruvate, it forms glucose via gluconeogenesis, and then this glucose again it enters the blood circulation to be utilized by various tissues. So this is called as glucose-alanine cycle. This one is called as glucose-alanine cycle. So we had finished with lactate. Just we'll have a look on this thing. Lactate. Lactate, how it is converted to glucose. Lactate से pyruvate बना is cytosol. Pyruvate will enter the mitochondrial membrane. This pyruvate will form oxaloacetate. Oxaloacetate से बन गया malate. Malate mitochondrial membrane को cross कर जाएगा, and malate is converted back to glucose by reversal of glycolysis. Oxaloacetate forms phosphoenol pyruvate, and then reversal of glycolysis से from phosphoenol pyruvate ultimately glucose is synthesized. So we have seen that how lactate gets converted into glucose. Now we come to the third substrate, that is glucogenic amino acid. Yes, glucogenic amino acids. See, in fasting state, there is hydrolysis of tissue proteins, and when there is hydrolysis of tissue proteins, so amino acids are released. So these amino acids becomes the major source of glucose in fasting. Amino acids produced by hydrolysis of tissue proteins are the major source of glucose during fast. Now, amino acids by transamination or by deamination, they will be converted to their respective keto acids. या तो transamination के through या फिर deamination के through, they will form their respective keto acids. For example, pyruvate, oxaloacetate, alpha-ketoglutarate, fumarate. These three are the intermediates of TCA cycle. Now, which amino acid will form which keto acid, that we have already done in TCA cycle when we did amphibolic nature of TCA cycle. So for details, you can refer TCA cycle. That amino acids are converted to the respective keto acids like pyruvate, oxaloacetate, alpha-ketoglutarate, fumarate. Now all these above, they further convert into glucose by gluconeogenesis. Like you can see in this image that this is the circle. Pink circle is the amino acid. So some amino acid, as I told you, they'll form pyruvate, some will form oxaloacetate, some will form alpha-ketoglutarate, and some will form fumarate. So suppose the amino acid which is forming pyruvate. So pyruvate is formed in cytosol. It will enter the mitochondrial membrane. It will convert to oxaloacetate. Oxaloacetate will form malate. Malate will cross mitochondrial membrane, and malate will convert into oxaloacetate. And malate will be converted back to oxaloacetate, which will form phosphoenol pyruvate and back to glucose. So the amino acid which will form oxaloacetate, for example, so oxaloacetate, same, it will form malate. Since oxaloacetate cannot cross mitochondrial membrane, so it will form malate. Malate will cross the mitochondrial membrane. It will convert back to oxaloacetate. Oxaloacetate will form phosphoenol pyruvate and then ultimately get converted to glucose. Then the amino acid which will form alpha-ketoglutarate, it will form succinyl coenzyme A, fumarate बनाएगा, then malate, it will cross mitochondrial membrane and then reversal form glucose. The amino acid which will form fumarate, fumarate will convert into malate, it will cross mitochondrial membrane, it will form oxaloacetate, convert into phosphoenol pyruvate and get converted to glucose. So this is how all the amino acid gets converted to glucose via gluconeogenesis. Now the last substrate is left, that is propionate. See, propionate, it is the major precursor in ruminants. In ruminants, it is the major precursor, but in non-ruminants, including human beings, it is relatively a minor substrate. Major substrate human beings में नहीं होता है. It is relatively a minor substrate. So from where does this propionate is arrive? From where does it is arrive? It comes from three sources. Number one, beta oxidation of odd chain fatty acids. अगर even chain fatty acids का beta oxidation होता तो product होता only acetyl coenzyme A. But if there is beta oxidation of odd chain fatty acids, then the product is acetyl coenzyme A and propionate. जो last के 3 carbon atoms बचेंगे fatty acid के, that will be converted into propionate. So the end product of odd chain beta oxidation of odd chain fatty acid is acetyl coenzyme A and propionate. So propionate comes from beta oxidation of odd chain fatty acids, oxidation of isoleucine, and oxidation of side chain of cholesterol. From all these three sources, propionate is derived. Propionate gets converted into succinyl coenzyme A, and then succinyl coenzyme A via gluconeogenesis ultimately will form glucose. Now, how propionate gets converted to succinyl coenzyme A? Propionate first converts into propionyl coenzyme A in presence of acyl coenzyme synthetase. This energy for this reaction is derived from hydrolysis of this. Energy for this reaction is derived from hydrolysis of this ATP. ATP gets converted to AMP and pyrophosphate molecule. Propionate gets converted to propionyl coenzyme A. Now, this propionyl coenzyme A, with the addition of carbon dioxide, and here with addition of carbon dioxide, the enzyme required is propionyl coenzyme A carboxylase. So this enzyme, it requires biotin as the coenzyme, and energy for this reaction is derived from hydrolysis of ATP, which breaks down to ADP and phosphate. Propionyl coenzyme A gets converted to D-methylmalonyl coenzyme A. Now this D isomer gets converted to its L isomer in presence of enzyme methyl coenzyme A racemase. D gets converted to L-methyl coenzyme A. Now this L-methyl malonyl coenzyme A gets converted to succinyl coenzyme A in presence of enzyme methyl coenzyme A mutase. This succinyl coenzyme A, which is the intermediate of TCA cycle, ultimately will get converted to glucose. Now this methyl malonyl coenzyme A mutase, this requires vitamin B12 as the coenzyme. If vitamin B12 coenzyme is, if vitamin B12 is deficient, then there will be excretion of this methyl malonic acid in urine, and this is called as methyl malonic aciduria. Methyl malonic coenzyme mutase, it's a vitamin B12 dependent enzyme, and its deficiency, the deficiency of vitamin B12 will lead to excretion of methyl malonic acid in urine, which is called as methyl malonic aciduria. Now see here, propionate. Via with methyl malonyl coenzyme A, it will form succinyl coenzyme A. Succinyl will form fumarate. Fumarate से malate बनेगा. Malate will come out of the mitochondrial membrane. It will form oxaloacetate, which will further form phosphoenol pyruvate, and then reversal से ultimately reverse of glycolysis से ultimately glucose will be formed. So these are the 4 substrates, how they are converted to glucose. So substrates are finished. Now come to the reactions of gluconeogenesis. Gluconeogenesis, it involves glycolysis, TCA cycles, and plus some reactions. Just a minute. See, you can see this is the pathway of gluconeogenesis. This pathway में क्या क्या आ रहा है? This pathway of gluconeogenesis, it involves TCA cycle. This is TCA cycle. This is glycolysis plus some reactions. Some reactions इसीलिए हैं because we know that there are 3 reactions of glycolysis which are irreversible in nature. The first reaction is this one. Glucose gets converted to glucose 6-phosphate in presence of either hexokinase or glucokinase, depending on the tissue. अगर liver है और pancreatic islet cell में हो रहा है glycolysis, तो enzyme will be glucokinase, and other tissues में enzyme will be hexokinase. So first irreversible reaction of glycolysis is conversion of glucose to glucose 6-phosphate. Next is जब fructose 6-phosphate से fructose 1,6-bisphosphate बनता है in presence of enzyme phosphofructokinase 1. So this is another irreversible reaction of glycolysis. The third irreversible reaction is phosphoenol pyruvate से जब pyruvate बनता है in presence of pyruvate kinase. So these 3 are the irreversible reactions of glycolysis. तो जब reverse gluconeogenesis में जब reversal of glycolysis चलेगा, so since these reactions are irreversible in nature, so they are circumvented by alternate pathway. alternate pathway or alternate reactions are used to for in case of gluconeogenesis because of the irreversible nature of these reactions. अब कौन से एंजाइम्स हैं जो कि ग्लूकोनियोजेनेसिस में काम आते हैं? सी ग्लाइकोलिसिस में when जो रिएक्शन इससे कैटलाइज होगी हेक्सोकाइनेज और ग्लूकोकाइनेज से, वही रिएक्शन रिवर्स डायरेक्शन में ग्लूकोकाइनेज में इससे कैटलाइज होगी, ग्लूकोज 6 phosphatase. The reaction which is catalyzed by hexokinase or glucokinase in converting glucose to glucose 6 phosphate will be catalyzed in reverse direction, that is glucose 6 phosphate से glucose बनेगा in presence of glucose 6 phosphatase. जो रिएक्शन फॉस्फोफ्रक्टोकाइनेज से कैटलाइज होती है ग्लाइकोलिसिस में, उसका जस्ट ऑपोजिट रिएक्शन विल बी कैटलाइज्ड बाय fructose 1,6 bisphosphatase. Similarly, phosphoenol pyruvate is converted to pyruvate by pyruvate kinase. उसका just reversal के लिए there are two enzymes are required. That is, pyruvate is converted to phosphoenol pyruvate in presence of two enzymes, that is pyruvate carboxylase and phosphoenol pyruvate carboxykinase. So these are the four enzymes which are required for the irreversible reactions of glycolysis. These are the enzymes which are required at the irreversible steps of glycolysis. These are the enzymes of gluconeogenesis. That is just reversal. Gluconeogenesis, that's just reversal of glycolysis में जब हम चलेंगे तो जहाँ जहाँ पे irreversible steps हैं, वो enzymes जो हैं वो catalyze करेंगी जो irreversible reactions को, वो enzymes ये हैं. इन enzymes को हम बोलते हैं key enzymes या specific enzymes of gluconeogenesis. Now this is the first reaction. We'll take reactions next time. I'll quickly revise अभी तक जितना हमने किया है आज. We'll revise first. Okay, so gluconeogenesis. Gluconeogenesis is glucose which is synthesized, de novo synthesis of glucose. Definition is, it is the process of synthesizing glucose or glycogen from non-carbohydrate precursors. Non-carbohydrate precursors से जब glucose बनता है, उस pathway को बोलते हैं gluconeogenesis. जो non-carbohydrate precursors हैं या substrates हैं, those are glycerol, lactate, glucogenic amino acids and propionate. इन precursors को हम two categories में divide कर सकते हैं. First category includes those substrates which are directly converted to glucose. For example, glucogenic amino acids and propionate, they can be directly converted into glucose. The next category will include the substrate which are product of metabolism of glucose in other tissues, and then they are taken up by the liver or kidney to be converted back to glucose. For example, glycerol and lactate. Like lactate is formed in skeletal muscle and RBCs via anaerobic glycolysis. It is formed from glucose. So एक बार skeletal muscle में जब lactate बन जाता है, तो skeletal muscle में से lactate will come out in the blood. From blood, it is taken up by the liver or kidney and converted back to glucose in liver or kidney. Similarly, glycerol, which is formed in adipose tissue, glucose से ही बनता है ये glycerol adipose tissue में fat condition में, ये glycerol free fatty acid से combine करता है और बनाता है triacyl glycerol. लेकिन जब fasting condition होती है तो यही triacyl glycerol enzyme lipase के presence में break down हो जाएगा glycerol में और free fatty acids में. ये glycerol blood में आ जाएगा, blood से glucose liver या kidney में uptake होगा and liver या kidney के अंदर this glycerol is converted back to glucose. So these both are the product of metabolism of glucose in other tissues and converted back to glucose in liver or kidney when needed. So this was the same step. Organs of gluconeogenesis. दो organs हैं, liver and kidney, because they consist of complete set of enzymes needed for gluconeogenesis. The site of the cell is cytosol as well as mitochondria. The key gluconeogenic enzymes are pyruvate carboxylase, phosphoenol pyruvate carboxykinase, fructose 1,6 bisphosphatase, and glucose 6 phosphatase. Then what is the biomedical importance of gluconeogenesis? There are certain tissues which continuously require glucose as the source of energy or as a metabolic fuel. Those tissues are brain, RBCs, kidney medulla, lens and cornea of eye, testes, and exercising muscle. Gluconeogenesis is helpful in clearing the product of metabolism of other tissues, for example, glycerol and lactate. Glycerol and lactate, glycerol जो कि adipose tissue में बनता है, lactate जो कि skeletal muscle में बनता है, ये blood में आ जाएगा. अगर gluconeogenesis नहीं होगा तो ये blood में accumulate होते रहेंगे glycerol and lactate. So gluconeogenesis क्या करेगा, क्योंकि इन दोनों से glucose synthesis हो जाता है, इसलिए ये दोनों ही products जो हैं, दोनों ही substrates जो हैं, वो taken up होते हैं liver और kidney में आ जाता take करते हैं, uptake होता है इनका liver या kidney में, and then in these organs they are converted back to glucose. Thus they are removed from the blood. So gluconeogenic mechanism जो होता है, it is used to clear the products of metabolism of other tissues from blood, for example cholesterol and lactate. Liver glycogen within 24 hours fasting में तो liver glycogenolysis is sufficient to maintain the blood glucose level, but beyond this, beyond if fasting prolongs, then liver glycogen becomes almost depleted, so this role is played by gluconeogenesis. Now, अगर overnight fasting है तो overnight fasting तक तो 90% of the glucose is synthesized in liver and only 10% is synthesized in the kidney. लेकिन अगर fasting prolong होती है, then kidney becomes a major glucose producing organ. Substrate, I've already told you, this glycerol, it is released in fasting condition, it is released from triacylglycerol, converts into this glycerol is released from hydrolysis of triacylglycerol in presence of enzyme lipase. This glycerol, it enters from adipose tissue, it enters the blood, from blood it enters liver, and liver it gets converted back to glucose via gluconeogenesis. Similarly, lactate, synthesized from glucose in skeletal muscle and RBCs via anaerobic glycolysis. लैक्टेट जो है, जो कि स्केलेटल मसल में प्रोड्यूस हुआ है, ब्लड में आ जाएगा, मसल से, ब्लड से लिवर में अपटेक हो जाएगा इसका, एंड इन लिवर this lactate gets converted back to glucose, which is called as via gluconeogenesis. इसको इस पूरे मेथड को, पूरी साइकिल को हम लैक्टिक एसिड साइकिल और कोराई साइकिल भी कहते हैं. ब्लड में ग्लूकोज था, मसल ने अपटेक किया, मसल में ग्लूकोज कन्वर्ट हुआ लैक्टेट में ब्लड में आ गया, लैक्टेट ब्लड से वापस अपटेक हुआ लिवर के अंदर, ये लैक्टेट कन्वर्ट हुआ बैक, वापस कन्वर्ट हो गया ग्लूकोज के अंदर लिवर में वाया ग्लूकोनियोजेनेसिस, और लिवर से ये वापस ब्लड की सर्कुलेशन में आ जाता है, एंड दिस साइकिल कंटिन्यूज, एंड साइकिल इज कॉल्ड एज लैक्टिक एसिड साइकिल और कोराई साइकिल. दूसरी साइकिल है जिसको हम बोलते हैं ग्लूकोज एलानिन साइकिल. अगेन ग्लूकोज का अपटेक होता है मसल में, ये ग्लूकोज जो है पायरुवेट में कन्वर्ट होता है, पायरुवेट से एलानिन बन जाता है, एलानिन ब्लड में चला जाएगा, ब्लड से एलानिन का अपटेक होगा लिवर में, लिवर में ये वापस कन्वर्ट होगा अपने कीटो एसिड में, दैट इज पायरुवेट, पायरुवेट से वापस ग्लूकोज बन जाएगा, and glucose will again come into the blood circulation and to be utilized for by the various tissues. This is called as glucose alanine cycle. Now next substrate, glucogenic amino acid. As I told you, fasting is समय tissue proteins का breakdown होता है, which releases amino acids. So these amino acids, they are the major source of glucose in fasting. Amino acids via transamination or deamination, they get converted to their respective keto acids like pyruvate, oxaloacetate, alpha-ketoglutarate, fumarate, and they all can convert into glucose by gluconeogenesis. Then last was propionate. Major precursor होता है ये ruminants के अंदर, non-ruminants में including human beings, it's a relatively minor precursor. It is derived from beta oxidation of odd chain fatty acids, oxidation of isoleucine, oxidation of side chain of cholesterol. So it is derived from these three sources. Propionyl forms succinyl coenzyme, and succinyl coenzyme से ultimately it forms glucose via gluconeogenesis. Glycerol से कैसे बनता है ग्लूकोज? Glycerol will form glycerol 3 phosphate, इससे DHAP बनेगा, DHAP glycerol 3 phosphate से combine करेगा, both of them will combine form fructose 1,6 bisphosphatase, इससे fructose 6 phosphate बनेगा, उससे glucose 6 phosphate, and ultimately glucose will be synthesized. नेक्स्ट सबस्ट्रेट लैक्टेट, लैक्टेट से पायरुवेट बना, पायरुवेट ने माइटोकॉन्ड्रियल मेम्ब्रेन को क्रॉस किया, पायरुवेट से ऑक्सैलोएस्टेट बना, उससे मैलेट बना, इसलिए मैलेट बना बिकॉज ऑक्सैलोएस्टेट कैन नॉट क्रॉस माइटोकॉन्ड्रियल मेम्ब्रेन, सो इट फॉर्म्स मैलेट, मैलेट will cross mitochondrial membrane, मैलेट ने बाहर साइटोसोल में वापस ऑक्सैलोएस्टेट में कन्वर्ट हो गया, ऑक्सैलोएस्टेट से फॉस्फोरिनोल पायरुवेट बनेगा, एंड रिवर्स ऑफ ग्लाइकोलिसिस से अल्टीमेटली इट विल फॉर्म ग्लूकोज. ग्लूकोजेनिक अमीनो एसिड जो कि यहाँ तो पायरुवेट बनाएंगे, यहाँ पे oxaloacetate, alpha ketoglutarate या fumarate बनाएंगे, all will be converted to glucose. अगर oxaloacetate बना रहा है या pyruvate बना रहा है अगर amino acid, तो pyruvate oxaloacetate में convert होगा, this will convert into malate, cross mitochondrial membrane, again form oxaloacetate, will form phosphorinol pyruvate, converts to glucose. Similarly, alpha ketoglutarate, अगर alpha ketoglutarate बना रहा है amino acid या fumarate बना रहा है, तो they alpha ketoglutarate है या फिर fumarate है, it will convert into malate. Malate will come out of mitochondria, it will form phosphoryl pyruvate, and ultimately will form glucose. Propionate via succinyl coenzyme, it will form fumarate, then malate comes out, and malate will ultimately be converted to glucose. So this is how the substrate gets converted to glucose via gluconeogenesis. So gluconeogenesis, it involves TCA cycle, glycolysis, and plus some more reactions. Some more reactions because जो reactions irreversible in glycolysis में, they are circumvented by alternate pathway. As you can see here, There are three irreversible reactions. Glucose से जब glucose 6-phosphate बनता है in presence of glucokinase or hexokinase is the first irreversible reaction. Fructose 6-phosphate से जब fructose 1,6-bisphosphate बनता है, it is the second irreversible reaction catalyzed by phosphofructokinase. Third irreversible reaction is the phosphoenol pyruvate से pyruvate बनता है in presence of pyruvate kinase. This is the third irreversible reactions. तो जहाँ पे irreversible reactions हैं, so these reactions will be circumvented by alternate pathways और different enzymes use होती हैं जो कि enzymes specific होती हैं for gluconeogenesis. Like here, जहाँ पे हेक्सोकाइनेस ग्लूकोकाइनेस काम कर रहा था ग्लाइकोलिसिस में, वहाँ की जस्ट उसकी ऑपोजिट डायरेक्शन में जो एंजाइम काम करेगी वो होगी ग्लूकोज 6-फॉस्फेटेज. Like hexokinase and glucokinase was converting glucose to glucose 6-phosphate. So this glucose 6-phosphatase will convert glucose 6-phosphate to glucose. Similarly, phosphofructokinase में fructose 6-phosphate convert हो रहा था fructose 1,6-bisphosphate में. अब यहाँ पे fructose 1,6-bisphosphate जो है वो convert होगा fructose 6-phosphate में in presence of fructose 1,6-bisphosphatase. Phosphoenol pyruvate में convert हो रहा था in presence of pyruvate kinase. तो यहाँ पे ग्लूकोनियोजेनेसिस में phosphoenol pyruvate जो है वो फिर ग्लाइकोलिसिस में phosphoenol pyruvate में convert हो रहा था in presence of pyruvate kinase. In gluconeogenesis, pyruvate will convert back to phosphoenol pyruvate in presence of two enzymes, pyruvate carboxylase and phosphoenol pyruvate carboxykinase.